It's the Bennington Show. Thursday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington. I'm a little tired today because I just sat in the sun for an hour, just facing the sun.
Yeah, I have that feeling where you feel your body getting vitamin D for the first time in months. Like you're just being charged up again.
Yeah. Chris gets vitamin D, but in his ace.
I think I know what that means.
Yeah. He's like, give me more of that D. Vito, today you told us it's Carly's last day.
Yes, it is Carly's last day.
No,
All right, send her in, Carly the intern. She's interned up for us for, I think, the last 3 years, 4 years.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
At least. We've grown so close over these years.
There she is. Carly, nice to see you.
Carly!
It's graduation day. Carly's a very smart person. I was like, well, let's see if we can get her a job here. And she's like, what are you in school?
I'm a
what year?
sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah.
Why are you interning so early? This should be your time to, party it up a little bit.
I know. Well, I'm still partying it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it's good for you. Good for you. Vito, you said you had something for her?
I do. We went to Molly's Cupcakes.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh, that's so nice.
That is so
Thank you.
swell.
Yay! And we got you plates.
Then we got you plates.
You love plates.
That's so nice.
Tea for me. Unrelated.
Yeah, unrelated at all. Yeah, open those up.
gosh,
Jen,
they
you
look
went out
so
and got
good.
those today? That's very sweet of you.
Oh my God.
I don't think you could eat all of those.
amazing.
Maybe we could each have one.
Yeah, we can share them.
I mean, this way we can celebrate together.
What is your what's your major?
Communications and journalism. Double major.
Journalism.
Double major,
fake
too.
news. That's the problem right now. It's all fake.
Do you want to
news.
write about real stuff or fake stuff?
Probably real stuff.
Oh,
All right, that's. I don't know if there's a market for that these days. Well, this is lovely to have you finishing your internship, and I'll just say this: it's a great big world out there. Just go for it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what you're supposed to say.
Take the bull by the dick. I think
Yeah,
is
you
the
got
saying.
to grab that bull by the dick and swing it. Just swing it.
I think that's what they say.
And I'll tell you this: I don't know, show up on time. Man, a lot of time people hate it when you're late.
That's good.
Yeah. I'll say this: have a job where you don't have to work long. That's my key to life. That is my absolute key to life. Just what's the shortest I can work every day?
That's very European of you.
Oh, Molly's really going. They're over the top, aren't they?
This looks so good.
Molly's in Chicago, the original Molly's with the Ron Bennington has got his own cupcake, and then New York Molly's, I believe, a second Molly's in Chicago, and then there's one somewhere else, Iowa, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that one.
Well, you got to keep up, like I say, it's a big old world out there. You got to beat the other guy, beat the competition. It's one of the things you got to do. I always stress that.
To beat the competition.
Don't let them win.
Now, I'm going to be in New Jersey this week. I'm going home to New Jersey, New Brunswick, New Jersey.
This is your first time going home, too, right?
It is my first time going home. It's hard to go home when you have felonies, outstanding warrants. But as soon as I get there, it's fly fishing. I'm going to do a little mountain climbing. I'm going to try to kill a moose. You know what I mean? I'm just going to do all
Jersey
the
stuff.
Jersey stuff. I do this hang gliding thing that's just, it's dangerous, yeah, but the gals sure seem to like that I do it. I just get up there on a glider and I hang.
I wouldn't do that. Would you, Chris?
No.
See, that's the thing, Chris. You just got to take the bull by the dick. I say that so many times.
Bull by the dick.
Yeah. There's 2 in Iowa, by the way. 2 Molly's in Iowa.
I'm really behind then.
Yeah, I got to do a Molly's tour. Some people have where they go to every Molly's and they get their picture taken
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's a big old world, I like to say, Big world.
Try it.
I think Stephen Wright said it's a small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it. And then we all laughed. We were like, that's a good point. I wouldn't want to paint it either, Steve.
The Ron Bennington's Coming Home to New Jersey tour is this weekend in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Shows this Friday and Saturday. 2 shows each night at 7:45 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. Go to stressfactory.com or call 732-545-HA-HA for tickets.
Was there a reason Chris wasn't given a cupcake?
I don't know why, Jen. Just
I think your understanding right now, Chris, is where the pecking order is.
Just throw me some scraps.
Was that driving you crazy?
I was looking at your cupcakes and I was very jealous. I'll be honest. Thank you, Carly.
But you never would have said it yourself.
No.
Really? Why not just say I want a cupcake?
Vito, did you get a cupcake?
No, I didn't get a cupcake.
Would you like one?
I would like one. I'll come in and get it. I don't want Carly.
Yeah, come in. Yeah, it's wrong that Carly's running around.
Carly, your running around days are over.
One thing we're picking up on is Jen hates Carly.
Beef with her.
She definitely hates Chris. I mean, that was clear.
Yeah. Well,
I looked at him and asked him, and he shook his head no.
Is that true, Chris?
I did not do that.
Did you shake her off?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
You're saying that you asked him if he wanted a cupcake.
Yeah, I looked at him, was about to bring the cupcakes over, and he shook his head.
Now, Jen, I'm always on your side, but I've known Chris for 11 years, and he's never turned down food.
He put his hand up to nope.
You know what I'm proud of? Is that both Vito and Chris went for the Ron Bennington.
I think that's really sweet. I went outside, what I normally do.
Well, it's very aggressive for the ladies to eat a Ron Bennington.
It is.
It's peanut butter, it's chocolate, and it's butterscotch.
I just got this dainty blueberry with raspberry filling.
Gluten-free. There's like a little hole in the middle where the gluten's supposed to be. You just suck the gluten out of there.
I'll have peach.
I'll have peach, please. Give me onion. Well, we're going. Well, everybody's talking about Trump again today. It's hard to... He did a call-in on Fox and Friends.
Oh, yeah? That was this morning?
Yeah.
What was his mood?
Anger.
Really? Yeah, that's not like him.
I know.
He had such a fun Kanye day yesterday. You thought he would have been on top of the world.
He's got Kanye.
Man, what a weird day. And it just kept getting weirder and weirder as I started to just see
every day
more things that Kanye was tweeting, and then Trump responding and saying, very cool, Kanye. And then Kim was tweeting and being like, okay, don't, I stand by him, but, stop calling him mentally ill. And then having to tell Kanye, stop posting pictures of our house because you don't let me let the camera crew in for keeping up with the Kardashians.
And then the news said that they're a $20 million house, and then the mom got mad and said it's a $60 million house.
I know. They are they're so
here's
weird.
The thing. A lot of people think $60 million is too much to pay for a house, but they do have kids. You know what I mean?
So you do want a lot of room. They're a growing family. But then I thought the funny thing is the reason he was posting pictures of the house is because everybody was tweeting to him and saying that Kanye is in the sunken place, which is the reference to Get Out when he's in the
because he's
and then he starts taking pictures of his crazy expensive house, being like, "Does this look like the sunken place to you?" It was so weird. What a weird world.
It's not a physical place, the sunken place. It's a mental place.
Yes, you're in your mind. This looks pretty good to me.
The guy from Atlanta was in that too, in that movie.
Oh, yeah, he was. He was fantastic.
Lakeith Stanfield.
What's his name?
Lakeith Stanfield.
Like Keith with a L at the front.
And Vito tells us that he's sleeping out.
Next week. I bought a cool reclining camping chair. Cost $50. It's pretty dope. Come through Amazon next few days. Going to be out there with that because they don't allow tents. They don't allow air mattresses. This is just a nice way to get some Z's out there.
I'll be honest. I didn't need the shipping details. I don't know about you guys.
Was it Prime or what?
It was Amazon Prime.
That part wasn't so important.
He is a fucking derailer. There's no doubt about it.
Why?
I just wanted you to know that it's coming in time.
I don't care.
Everybody to know.
I don't care if you're standing up or sitting down. I just think that it's nutty in an age of computers that people still have to sleep out for tickets.
Yeah, and I've been reading into the levels of people you have to go out there, and I got to go out there Thursday for Donald Glover and Childish Gambino.
So Thursday until Saturday morning, or
until Saturday 7 a.m.
You know when you
Holy
see
shit.
the most people sleeping out is for boy bands.
Yeah, you see a lot of young girls.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. And that, to me, it's always bad for SNL because they don't care about the show or the sketches. They
I
just
agree.
want to see, I'm going to guess, 50 Years of Summer. Is that their correct name?
5 days of summer.
5 days till summer?
5 days of summer. That's it, right?
Isn't it like 5 seconds?
5 seconds of summer.
Okay.
Carly knows.
What's that
Carly.
even mean, Carly?
I have no idea.
So like about to get warm in 5 seconds? Are we counting to the equinox?
What's
or-
their big hit, Carly? Do you know?
No. I
know
barely
they-
know the name.
I know they were here one time and everybody was like, don't bring your fucking daughters to work today. Give these guys some space.
That's not fun.
I know. I'd bring all the daughters in.
I know. Come on. That makes it so cute. I love it when there's somebody here who
Really
it makes-
cares.
Yeah, who like exactly because you know, for most of the people here, it's just like they've seen everybody, so they're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's so great when like people bring people in and their like eyes light up and they're all excited and nervous.
I noticed that you ladies were checking somebody out yesterday.
Oh yes, yesterday Lenny Kravitz was here, and oh boy, is he a foxy gentleman.
And his age 0 since he broke in
Yeah.
the 80s.
Yeah. Looks exactly the same. Still so sexy, so stylish.
Leather pants?
What, you wanted to see if his dick broke out? No, you think that was his actual hair? Or was that a wig?
Yeah,
can't
I
tell.
think that's his hair. I think
I mean, there's a
he's,
lot of hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think Charles Gambino's going to have his own hair, Vito?
I don't know. He might wear a wig piece. Maybe if he sings Redbone. Redbone's his big hit. I also like Stand Tall.
How's it go? Sing it to us.
Which one? Redbone? Daylight, I must feel right.
Stop it right there. I'm sleeping out with you. I am not fucking missing that.
You don't get another chair.
Yeah. Call Amazon Prime. Maybe you can get a deal on 2. Are you allowed to leave at all? Where do you fucking piss?
I've been reading all about. Well, like, luckily the office is right here. I see that you get like an hour max to leave. So if I got to go take a shit or piss, I'm just gonna run here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna charge my phones here and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Burner phone, you know.
My burner phone. What are you worried about?
Moving weight?
Very peculiar.
What concerns you? Carly, this is why I want you to know how easy it is to get hired in this business.
This is enough.
That's a full-time worker right there.
401k and health insurance.
Specific.
He's like a weird Rain Man.
He really is. Oh my God, he loves the deets.
Now, do you guys get to leave together or you have to leave separately? Like,
No.
do you have to hold your place in line?
I think one of us has to stay there when the other goes for a little. So I'm
It's
gonna
annoying.
put him into the system.
I waited for Kumail Nanjiani's episode, and I stayed out. I got there like Friday at noon,
Mm-hmm.
and I think one person has to wait, like to hold your spot.
Oh, God, that's a nightmare.
We'll be
How
fine.
was the episode?
It was really good.
You were there Friday at noon.
Yeah, it's Friday
And-
at noon, and then you wait until like Saturday at 7 a.m.
How many people were there before when you got there?
I was like 8th.
All right, so then they just give you your tickets
Yeah, and then you come back like at
for the
night.
show?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
That's not
it's
as bad as I thought. I thought you were waiting right up to the show. You
Did
just
they
see
be
people
like-
sleeping. and-
That would be so funny.
Now, Vito, do you care whether you get into SNL live or the dress rehearsal?
They make you choose, so I'm gonna choose live show. That's why I'm getting there early.
I'm going to be honest, I had a blast when I went to a rehearsal.
How long did you sleep out for?
I didn't. I had that connection.
I figure if I'm just sleeping out there for the thing, like part of the experience, just go for the live show. You know, I've always wanted to be there for that.
There's no way you're getting any sleep. You're going to be fucking wired on the street in New York. You're not fucking getting a fucking wink.
I don't know. I think I could sleep through it. Carly, is it safe out there?
safe. You
You're from New York City and it's Midtown.
Yeah, you're just on 48th Street, so you'll probably be fine.
Are there any muggers?
No.
You're on the street you work.
Yeah, I know. It gets pretty dicey out there.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
it doesn't.
Exact opposite of dicey.
I talked to our former intern, Nick, who's an intern at SNL, and he said he's going to come down and say what's up to me while I'm on the line.
That's so fucking cool.
You got the in, man.
That is so cool.
He didn't give me any he didn't give me any hope. He just said, "Yeah, you should get there that early."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he's an intern for SNL.
Yes.
And before that, he was an intern for Seth Meyers.
Yep.
Nick and Knight, fucking endless intern.
Sweetest boy.
Everybody loves him.
Oh, God, what a sweet kid.
Well, I just thought of something. He'd be perfect with Carly.
Oh, that's so true, because they're two sweethearts.
Two sweethearts dating intern relationships, which I don't know. Is that not allowed, Vito?
No, interns, they specifically say be friends with interns. Don't be friends with full-time or part-time employees.
I know.
That's what keeps us apart. They're always so weird. You try to say hi to them, and they just look forward.
I think they even this thing of we can't take them to lunch, right?
Yeah.
Because they think we're going to start drinking and groping them.
That's where rapes happen.
Isn't it funny that you have to say, stay away from our host? Yes. Our hosts are fucking horrible
and
people.
That's the sick thing is that the interns are given this lecture, but nobody sits down with the host and says, here is the appropriate way to behave towards an intern. They put it on them. They're like, don't dress so slutty, first of all.
Don't be alluring under any circumstances.
Cover your hair if you can. Hosts love long, luxurious hair.
Shave it. Shave your head and eyebrows before you go in there. All right, you start in 2 months. That's plenty of time to put on some weight. Fucking horrible. Well, we better get woke, folks, you know?
They should just have them dressed like handmaids.
That's a sexy look for me.
I watched the first 2 episodes last night because the second season is now among us. So good.
You loving it?
So good.
I haven't really gotten into it. I watched a little bit of the first season and I'm like, what is this? This couldn't happen. Now we're living in a time where you're like, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
looks that way.
There's certain things that now, as even in the last year since it's been on, you're like, oh, that kind of did happen a little bit.
But here's the thing. In real life, we're just way too disorganized to make that happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we just fuck up everything. I mean, really, the Republicans have been kind of stepping on their cock themselves because they don't like Trump.
Right.
And they can't get around him. And it's just, and they won't say anything bad about him, you know?
Right. Now, the basic thing is that it's not even that the government turns against the people. It's that the government is taken over by people in almost like a terroristic way, but it's like domestic people who are doing it. And then they create a new government, new thing that totally gets overthrown. But as everything is going on, everyone is just kind of a little bit like, that's weird. And then one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden you can't get out of the country.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, during every kind of thing, we've had that thing where you feel like, oh, well, you know, this is the weird thing because the way we get about guns in this country, about keeping their guns free, but then everybody gives over every liberty that they have when they get on an airplane.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no time that you feel less like an American than when you're getting on a fucking airplane.
Yeah. When
You're
they're
just taking off your fucking clothes and being examined.
The belt thing is just ridiculous.
He's
Remember when you got
upset.
in trouble too because your pants were falling down, Chris? That was my favorite fucking day. And that was a day where they just gave me the free pass. So I just went in, you know, I had a fucking handgun in my hand. They're like, good to see you, Mr. Bennington. He's right next to me in the other line. And they're just fucking roughing him up. They tased him a couple times. So he's standing there with his hands in the air, getting fucking x-rayed. And his fucking pants are falling down. Because even with a belt, you're never sure when those pants are coming down. And then they're like, would you hold your pants up? And he goes, you took my fucking belt. I'm like, oh, God, this is when it starts. This is the guy that they really get mad at.
100%.
You were an animal.
You were resisting.
Everybody gives into that.
Yeah.
And I remember being a little kid, and I'm with my dad, and they just wanted to take, and this is when they used to hijack planes and go to Cuba, right? And still no one gave a fuck. You just walked on a plane. And they were like, they had like that little metal detector. And my father was like, what the hell do you think you're doing? He starts giving the guy shit. He's like, his whole thing is, why are you treating me like I'm a criminal?
Right.
You know? And, you know, he's a World War II veteran. He thought no one should be able to tell anybody what to do. He thought that was a war.
Yeah.
And now, I can't imagine him.
Oh,
I can't imagine him getting on a plane.
when I went to Miami with my girlfriends on the way back, we had jumped in the water just before getting on the plane. And one of the girls had not toweled off enough, so she just like threw on a sundress. And they took her aside, and they're like, you're covered in a liquid that we need. And we're like, it's water. She's not that dry. Look at her hair. We're like, smell her. It smells like salt water. And they had her going through this thing, and you could see everything. It was, I mean, you could straight up see her vagina.
Yes.
Like,
Miss, we're going to finger bang you for a moment.
She's just like, I'm just a little damp. I'm sorry. I didn't towel off.
Well, I used to time any plane trip to the last second. I wanted to just run through the airport and run out on the plane.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? And that was years that was my gimmick of, well, my plane leaves in 45 minutes. I better head over there. And now you're hours and hours and hours early.
It's also really strange that you can't pick somebody up at the airport in the same way anymore.
No, you used to walk right out to the gate.
You used to, yeah.
You know, your whole family would be there when you come home, and then you would see other families crying at the gate and saying goodbye to grandma or whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's like, if you pull over to get someone, if they don't leap right in the car, you're going to have to drive around again.
Yes.
I don't care what airport it is in America. Or Europe, it's a pain in the ass.
It's really annoying.
I think Russia, you could just hop right on.
But I think also like how much that has changed, just like the rom-com moment. That was like the classic rom-com is like running to the gate and like, or like running on the plane even. There were movies where someone would like actually get up, like, sir, you don't have a tit. Oh man, he's in love.
But I will say this. Going out of the ocean and heading to the airport, that's pretty gross. That's pretty, just sitting salty, because that's hard enough to do on the beach.
I know.
Chris gets patted down for sweat every time.
Oh, man.
That does happen. I wasn't going to bring it up, but multiple times I've been pulled aside for that same reason as your friend Gail. And like, buddy, we have to pat you down. And I'm just like, I'm just sweaty, dude.
And I've seen the thing you walk through where you see the heat zones and the water zones.
Yeah.
It's just squares around his whole body.
Oh, you're just as sweaty.
Sir, there's some sort of liquid around your ass and penis area.
Looks like we're going to have to check under your ball sack. It seems like you're running an oil slick out of there.
It's just sweat.
It's so gross.
So we're going to put you to sleep for a couple of years so we can examine everything.
I accidentally brought keys in my pocket, and they were fucking pissed about it. Like, I forgot to just take them out, and they took.
I've done the same kind of shit. That's why they went through my wallet, because I left my wallet in my pocket.
I got really scolded for forgetting the laptop or the iPad in the bag.
Yeah.
I'm like really upset at me, to the point that I'm like, hey, man, it's a mistake. Just forgot to do it.
I don't do this for a living.
Like, I wouldn't do this on purpose. I have nothing to hide from you, sir.
Then they like take your hand and they swab it down for liquids and shit, and then you're just like panicking, like, what did I touch today?
I know, sometimes it does feel like they're picking you out personally.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm a fucking taxpayer like yourself. You know what I mean? You never see me kneeling during the national anthem. I'm not one of those kneelers. They had some secret tapes released from the NFL meeting, and they're all petrified of Trump. Petrified that Trump is going to hurt the business next year.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised because I felt like that they were coming from a place of confidence before.
That confidence got cracked because they never had they never in their existence. And it doesn't really have everything to do with Trump. It's just the modern age that we live in that less people do the same thing. And, but my entire life, the NFL has been untouchable. And since first it started with the concussions and, you know, just some bad stuff by some of the players, you know. Bad outside stuff, you know, partying turns into people dying. And then the kneeling just set people off. And then when Trump started to stick it to him, a lot of people were, I think, that were on the edge were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Now people like myself, I don't care. I don't care how many other people are watching. It's football. I'm going to watch it on Sundays.
Yeah.
I don't care even how good the people are. They're good, kind people. It doesn't matter to me. It's an ugly sport, and I still watch it. That's it. It's not I can't defend that sport.
Yeah, I mean, that is weird that people were upset about the kneeling, but then like before that, they were comfortable with athletes, not only in a violent, aggressive sport, but then certainly there has been a lot of criminal activity, rapes, murders. Yeah. I mean, like we're just like,
rape, murder. It's just a play away. The draft this weekend, and that's a big deal for people. They're doing mock drafts everywhere. But another quarterback, they found some tweets of his from high school where he dropped the N-bomb and he wrote something, if you ain't white, you ain't right, or whatever. Just dumb kid shit, you know?
That's not even clever, sir.
But what they're saying is they think maybe another team leaked this so that he would drop further and then they could get them on his team.
Oh, that's sick. That's really, really twisted.
By that, you mean genius? Because if suddenly a team that was, had the 24th pick picks up a guy who should go in the top 5, that's a big money deal. Because he gets paid less.
Right.
You're paid by how high you're fucking drafted.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I mean, it shouldn't be that way, but it is. That's
And again, that's just like kind of guessing how you'll perform, right? Or is it based on your stats in college?
Nobody knows. Because a lot of times you'll pick a guy who didn't have, great things, but he's 6'6" and 340, and you're like, I think we could teach him how to block. You know what I mean? Like, he's athletic enough, but he's just been bumming around. And some really great tackle who weighs 240 and is 6 foot is not going to get picked up.
Now, after your first year, do you get to shake off that
No, it takes
stigma?
the first contract.
Yeah.
It takes like the first contract before you can get, and that's when they start to get rid of you. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, most guys are out after 4 years. Most guys are done.
True.
There's some quarterbacks that everybody knows and some wide receivers, but even running back 30 and their body just gives out. 30. Like he's too old. We don't give a fuck about him.
Oh God.
He's useless now.
He's there. Throw him on the fucking scrap heap. So all the people that sit around and try to I just feel like they're crazy people because you don't know. You just don't know who's going to be good.
They're just doing it because people have done it before, and like people want to read about who's going to go first. I mean, like the Browns were going to take one guy up until like 2 days ago, and now they say they're going to take Baker Mayfield, and we don't. Who knows if Baker Mayfield's going to be any good?
Well, you want to fucking destroy a quarterback's career? Let him go to Cleveland. It's a fucking tough.
Just go to Concussion Town, aka Cleveland.
No one's going to block for you.
Baker Mayfield was considering not registering for the draft because Cleveland had the number 1 pick. Like, nobody wants to go to that fucking team.
No, why would anybody?
It's insane.
I don't know why people go to their games. Where's he want to play, for the Jets?
Yeah, it seems like he'd rather play for the Jets in Cleveland, but nobody wants to end up on the fucking 0-16 Browns.
Oh, God. It looks like a nightmare.
They have that nice winless parade, though.
Yeah, I guess that's fun for a while.
But depressing leading up to it.
Roseanne's ratings are going down or returning to where they probably should have been without the initial hype.
Yes, there was a lot of hype, and even I've watched, the episodes since the first. I've kept up with the last couple, and even by episode 2, I went, "Oh, this isn't going to maintain." Like, not that it was bad, but I'm like, "There's no way to maintain the hype of everyone's
like
sitcom. Roseanne's back," and what? Yeah, it's a sitcom.
Just the sitcom.
It'll be if you catch it, it could be enjoyable. It might be funny some episodes, might be not funny other episodes. It's just going to be a regular sitcom.
At most, it's going to be Big Bang Theory, where you're like, I don't know, I'm still watching.
It's on.
I like that one guy.
I don't know if this makes sense, but like sitcoms look weird in HD to me. Like for some reason, like I just associate sitcoms with like 90s and before with that like tape look, and just HD sitcoms look so bizarre.
Well, because you're looking at a set, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And that's probably why it looks so strange.
I remember when HD started, I found it to be the freakiest thing in the world, and now I couldn't tell you the difference. But when it first started, I'm like, oh, every news person looks fucking freaky.
Yeah.
And this cop show looks fake as shit. Now I don't even notice. I don't know what happens. My eyes have adjusted, or they figured out a way.
It must be, because I do remember how gross looking at people's like faces, like the detail that you could see when somebody was on the news.
The eyebrow was a little fucking weird.
Yeah, and you were like, you could see kind of like the redness of their skin underneath their pancake makeup, and you're like, oh, that's bizarre looking.
Who's your favorite journalist right now? Woody Allen's kid?
Ronan.
No. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a journalist, so.
Oh, you don't want to be
No.
one. You did it for no reason. What would you like to? What's your dream job? 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
I'd want to be a writer, a comedy writer.
A comedy writer.
Yeah.
Did you meet Nell?
Yeah.
Did you read her book?
Yep. It's awesome.
Some fucking shitty stuff in that book, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems it's a hard road
I
for
know.
sure.
Yeah.
But
Dude, when I was hearing like the number of writers all time on Letterman that were female, you're like, what?
yeah,
And then I don't think they've had many black writers either.
yeah.
And that was like a fucking, 25-year show? No one ever thought to themselves,
It's like,
here's
hey.
another. And here's the weird thing about Letterman. If you look at that show, the reason that it was such an explosive show was Meryl Mocro, his girlfriend. All the original great shit was written by her.
Yeah.
And then when they broke up, she left. And I can't think of another thing after that where I'm like, oh, that's pretty wild.
Well, after the show, even Nell was talking to Carly, and I won't say who she said, but she was like, "Oh, like if that's what you're interested in, I'll keep my ear open if there's any other internships, like writing internships or something." And she was like, "I know of one at this particular place," but she's like, "I won't even make you waste your time because they don't hire women." And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Write it down for me.
I will.
This is exciting.
But once I
Yeah,
write
I'm getting a
it,
bit of a dish here, quiet
but
dish.
once I write it down, you're gonna go, "Oh yeah, of course."
I won't do that, I promise. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I mean, you could just tell that from the writing,
Yeah.
is what we were talking about off air. Is like, if you're watching this person's show, you would never think a woman would be on the staff of that show.
No. And yet it's considered progressive.
Yes.
It's considered very progressive. So Baker Mayfield not coming to New York. Are you bummed about that?
I'm pretty bummed about it, but I mean, it'll probably just change by tonight.
Well, tomorrow night I'll be at the Stress Factory, and I don't know whether I'm getting the key to New Brunswick, but I would not be surprised. Coming home after all these years, it's going to be pretty exciting. But I still hope to have a lot of time. I want to scuba dive and stuff like. I mean, it's a paradise, really. You know what I mean? I got to take advantage of it. Just to have fresh pineapple is going to be unbelievable for me.
Are you going to have time for all that?
Yeah, I am. I've got a schedule down to the second. One of the things I'm not doing is sleeping, and that helps me quite a bit.
For tickets for the Ron Bennington's Coming Home to New Jersey tour, go to stressfactory.com or call 732-545-HAHA. 2 shows each night, Friday and Saturday, 7:45 p.m. and 9:30 p.m.
And that's just the shows. Let me know if you want to go wakeboarding with me, too. Kind of extreme sports nut. That's me, extreme sports nut. They're also saying Megyn Kelly's NBC show, everybody's looking how to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's so stupid what they did with her. She had a specific niche. She was like the steel woman of Fox News, and she was tough. And then they put her in a show where you're supposed to, I don't know, look at the fucking bathing suits for next year, and here's drinks you can mix. And she's so stiff on that show.
Right, because that's not her wheelhouse. That's like they set her up for failure, essentially. You didn't place her in the right, you didn't see what her strengths were.
Right.
You just snatched her up for no reason.
Well, I guess they also thought, wouldn't it be better to put her on MSNBC? If that's what you wanted to do, and see if you could move some of that stuff over? Why would they think that she'll make a great 9:00 in the morning person?
I don't know.
Every smile was forced with her.
Yeah.
It's more like a,
yeah, she doesn't have
good morning, everybody.
She's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, she's tough.
Tough and cold.
They're like jazzercising like a button-down shirt like a couple weeks ago. It was really weird.
What do you mean they're jazzercising?
Like working out and like dance working out, but she didn't have workout clothes on. She had like her button-down shirt was still on.
What would she put on?
Specifics of this is so creepy. Like it just kind of
You
sounded
almost
like you were
could masturbate.
Yeah, like it sounded like that's what he was doing.
He was, but he couldn't finish.
Because of that button down, I guess.
Not form-fitting enough.
By the way, all these things are up on the iBang, including the monkey dressed like a little girl begging for money. Did you see this, Gail? Because you may not want to watch it.
Is it really weird?
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And it would be cute if it wasn't slavery. I mean, they even have a doll mask on.
What the hell am I looking at? What is that? No! Oh my God, I thought you were just going to say like she was just like wearing a little dress.
Moves. No, she has a doll mask on her head. And you can see like she's trained enough, like she knows what she's doing, although the guy is holding and she takes dollars from people and puts it in a bucket. But it looks like a scary little robot child that has a monkey tail.
Oh no, I do not like the face of that mask. It's so creepy.
I think it's India, right?
It's Indonesia.
All right. This is why we can't fucking get along with them. This is too weird.
It's an old sugar cookie bucket from the looks of it.
Why is that your focus? There's a monkey dressed in a doll fucking costume.
I mean, like it's so weird because it's like a full head. So it's not just like a monkey wearing like a little like face mask. It's like the whole head with the hair involved. It's very creepy.
I'm telling you, it's up on the iBang and it's going to give me nightmares.
It's terrifying.
And it's weirdly Black Mirror. How? I don't know why. I mean, I understand it's just a nutty guy who put a fucking doll head on a monkey, but it does feel weirdly futuristic, like we got to watch out for this.
I think it kind of falls into that uncanny valley category where something like kind of looks human, but it isn't quite right. And so it's unsettling.
What do you mean by uncanny valley?
So this is a thing that people feel that it's a kind of unsettling feeling that you get when you're looking at something that could either be a robot that look like a humanoid robot.
Yeah.
CGI sometimes, you know, when they try to make, they do it, but there's facial expressions instead of just like an action shot. So when you actually look at something's face and you're like, that kind of looks like a human, but it's just a little bit off. They call it the uncanny valley, where it's like it almost looks human. You'd be better off with something that is just like a boxy robot because that doesn't look like it's trying to be a human.
I used to feel even uneasy when I was a little kid about stop action stuff. Like some of those Christmas specials that were stop action.
Yeah,
I'm like,
claymation.
just the way they fucking moved. It's not claymation. It's like little puppets that they just move and take fucking pictures of. You know, Rudolph. When they were mean to Rudolph, I'm like, oh, this world that they live in. Like, I didn't feel like I was watching something that from my world.
Right. It looks like a dream. People also sometimes feel that way about mannequins. Like a mannequin that's a little bit
mannequins freak people.
Yeah.
Fez had a horrible phobia of a child in an adult mask, and he couldn't. The Sting mask, in particular, from the WWF used to have him scurrying.
I'd be very interested to see how he feels about this because it kind of goes in that.
He'll never be able to handle this. There will be no point where he's like, "Oh, well, this is kind of cool." I mean, I feel so bad for this fucking monkey too. You're supposed to be a monkey.
You just live like a monkey and have fun. Instead, he's like wearing this sweaty mask and this weird little pink outfit.
I mean, every afternoon, you know, Vito takes his Oregon and monkey up to Central Park. But that's fine, in my opinion. You know, that monkey can run around, enjoy the air a little bit.
I'm trouble they put pants on the monkey. Because if I was this guy with this slave monkey, I would not put pants on it because it's going to piss and shit the pants. It's a monkey. It doesn't know how to
She might be wearing a diaper, though.
Oh, that's a good call.
I one time saw a woman who had a baby monkey as a pet, and she had a little tiny newborn, like a little preemie diper on the monkey. It was kind of cute, but a little bit weird.
I think I could beat a monkey in a fight. I think I could beat a gorilla in a fight, too. Can't beat a gorilla, can't even beat a chimpanzee. Yeah, that's the weirdest fucking thing on the internet right now.
It's really creepy.
Horrifying. It's probably something to send to an ex-girlfriend and just put, this could happen to you.
Oh, yeah. It does kind of remind you like the end of the movie Freaks when they like kind of turn her into a duck. So she's like a half woman, half duck lady.
Ugh. Todd Browning, you weirdo. You fucking weirdo with your Weird Freaks movie.
Scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Sure.
Even though like there isn't any like if you really think about it, it's not that scary. It's pretty stupid. Like the ending is like they turn her into a duck lady, but for some reason as a kid I'm like, dear God, no.
It was bad enough. There's people with baseball heads.
Oh yeah.
The fucking guy with no bottom of his body.
Yeah.
But the duck lady pushed you over the top. This is one that's embarrassing for me too. Chris sent this in to the iBag. It's the drunk girl who tries to order a drink at the DJ booth. I just hate to see drunks acting too poor because I'm like, I hope there's no shit for me.
Here she is. It sounds like she's British.
Yeah.
This is the DJ booth. This is the DJ booth.
She's barking her.
This is the DJ booth. This is the DJ booth.
That's amazing.
Just when you see how stupid you are when you're drunk.
She also has her card already out, which is really funny. She's like, let's make this transaction happen right now. Full sambucas.
Well, this is exciting because you never know what big stars are going to call our show. But from Austin, Texas, the legendary broadcaster, Bob Fonseca is on the line right now. Bob.
How you guys doing?
Very, very good.
Good. Man, I want to say hi to Gail. We missed you at Austin.
Oh, man, I missed you guys. It sounded like such a blast out there this year.
It was a good time, and I got to hang with the guys, and I only regret that I wasn't able to buy the crew drinks. You got the hardest working crew in show business, man.
Well, they are, but I didn't see them at all this time.
Right.
They were all off doing stuff.
And then I found out that I was trying to buy Vito a drink, and then someone, it was Deborah. I texted her and I said, "Hey, what does Vito drink? I want to buy him a drink before he gets here."
Yeah.
And she's like, "White wine on ice." I thought she was fucking me.
No, that's your thing, right, Vito? White wine on ice.
I love just a nice Pinot.
But why the ice?
Because I like when sometimes the wine is too strong for me, and I like when the ice kind of like waters it down.
Oh, all right.
Is that like from a Bruno Mars song or something?
Yeah. He kind of likes a lemonade, is what he really wants.
Yeah.
Oh, lemonade's the best, but ice wine.
Like a Mike's Hard?
A Mike's Hard, a twisted tea, perhaps?
Ron, I don't know if anybody told you, but that was the first time I had seen you do stand-up. And it was kind of funny because I was in that I guess it was called Stars and Bars?
Stars and Bars, yeah.
And Saturday night, my wife and I and Daniel, our producer, and his wife were like in the third or fourth row. And we were just cracking up. Who was the comedian? Kurt? The guy that did the bees?
Kurt Brownhour or something?
Kurt Brownhour.
Yeah, hilarious.
So he was up there, and he was killing. And then he closed with that bees thing, and he took it to such a high level. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, my God, I would not want to follow this guy. And then I look over to my left, and you're standing in the wing. And I go, oh, shit. I'd never seen you do stand-up before, and you killed it, man. You kept the room going.
You know what's hilarious is like that didn't even dawn on me.
No?
Yeah. All right, now that you're saying it, yeah, that was an unbelievable set. I'm like, oh, he's doing good.
I think most guys would have headed out the street, out on the sidewalk.
I don't know, something about me. I was just laughing my ass off, enjoying it, and then went up and had fun myself. But yeah, I know a lot of people say they don't want to go after somebody who just died or somebody who just killed.
What's worse, you think?
I don't. It's the same thing to me. You're just going up. I thought we did a reset. It's not a reset, everybody.
I'm a different guy than that
guy. Oh my God! Well, the folks that are going to see in New Jersey are in for a treat.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting back home again. I'm already signed up for a New Brunswick kind of a taste thing. You go around, there's the Taste of New Brunswick.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, we're going to have a slice of pizza, cheeseburger.
Yeah, I used to go there as a kid. I used to go to like bowling. Is there like a bowling alley there that has like 100 lanes or something?
Yes, the 100 lane bowling alley. I plan on going there too. That's where I wanted to eat because bowling food is the best.
So good. Cheese fries?
Yeah.
Bob, when are you coming to town? When are you getting to New York?
I told you when you were in Austin that I finally got the call for the Springsteen on Broadway because I don't have any pull. So I was in the lottery with the general public, and I was like, well, if they call me, I'll go, and if I don't get the tickets, then I've seen them a million times. So, but I finally got the call. I'll be up there July 23rd, which is a Saturday for the show, and then we'll come up a couple days early. We haven't been in New York City in a few years.
Well, you're going to have a blast, and I hope you come and hang out with us. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to try to fly in Thursday, so I'll have Friday open, and if something works out, that would be cool.
Fantastic.
You guys are great. I don't want to keep you from the work that you're doing today, but I just wanted to, since you're doing stand-up this weekend, I just wanted to put that out there because you really impressed me. And I'm not saying that to blow smoke. I just
you go ahead and blow smoke.
Slot. You were in a tough slot, and you killed it, man.
Thank you, my friend. Peace.
All right. All right,
give me that comic's name again.
Kurt Braunohler.
He was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, West Coast guy.
That's awesome.
And he had me laughing my ass off, just like laughing like a little kid.
See, I feel like that's gotta. I mean, I know that people say like they feel worried if someone's killing before them, but I feel like that just would like jumpstart me. Like I would feel like, oh, great, so it can be done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, like, I guess if you don't get them right off the thing, they went, oh, everything changed.
Oh, I miss that guy.
Oh, jeez, I wish that guy would come back and talk about bees some more. I gotta fucking be more in the moment so I could even think whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just never occurs to me. And tonight I'm going on after Berg and I'll be like, look at these two Polish guys. Look at this Jew. Look at that black guy over there. He's doing cooking. You know what I mean? Whatever. He goes like a fucking bat out of hell when he starts. Like there's no person left in the crowd to crowd work. But it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend. Why don't we break here? It's the Bennington Show on a Thursday. Chris, what are we playing tomorrow at 2 o'clock?
Judah 2020, the world champs presidential press
Oh, my God.
Yeah!
This is one of the funnest things we ever got. I wish I would have brought that up to Bob. Bob Fonseca was there for that as well. That was one of the funnest days I've ever had.
I am so excited to hear this because just the pictures and everything about the day just looks so incredible. So I'm so excited.
I haven't seen Judah since that thing was over. Have you talked to him, Chris?
I have not talked with him.
Hilarious. That's just so funny that we could have a weird day like that and then we all just go off in different...
I guess he's on the campaign trail.
And I can't wait till you hear the song that the goddamn Comedy Jam guys wrote. Either that morning or the night before. But I don't know how they do that. That they wrote this kind of little fun political song parody that, was the kind of thing that could have made, if it was a real thing, you probably could have made a commercial out of it.
Right.
I don't know whether it's an old school story song.
Yeah.
Which people, did people do it? Because every song is somewhat of a story song, but...
Yeah, but there are songs that actually have like a beginning, middle, and end, and like you're on a journey with one guy or
you
one
find out what the characters are doing.
Yes, and I always think that's funny. Like there's some genres that kind of lean towards it more than others, but I think everyone like has at least one or two.
Country and folk probably do the most, but there's been rap songs like that. There's been rock songs like that. What do you consider your favorite story kind of song of all time?
I think my favorite might be, and I can't believe how forgotten this song is because it's so fucking great, is Tracy Chapman, Fast Car.
That's a little heartbreaking too.
I know, it's heartbreaking, but the story of like a couple and she's down on her luck, and then she goes on to say that, her dad left her mom when she was young and he's an alcoholic.
It's just a story of poverty.
Yeah, and then
love.
like she's just like she's got to get out some way, and then by the end you realize like they did get out and it just like didn't.
Still sucks.
Yeah, it still fucking blows. It's so heartbreaking.
It was Jenny Hutt's brother that found her and brought her to a record label. This song, became that breakout hit.
That's awesome.
He was just seeing her in some like little club up in Boston or something, and she was just, kind of unknown, just a regular person. And he was just like, he called back. His dad had a record company. He goes, "Look, if you don't sign her, I'm taking her somewhere else." I
Holy
remember
shit.
hearing this story. Play a little bit of it. Here's I don't know why we didn't get to the hook, but here's my only problem with that. I like my story songs a little cheesier. You know what I mean? I like them to have a little cheese factor. Like, I can't believe that they believe this is a song. So I'm going to pick this one.
Okay.
I think this was 1969 that this came out. Major fucking hit. Still can be heard. And it's Ode to Billy Joe. In the 70s, they later made a movie out of it, and it didn't clarify, but nobody knew what went off the fucking Tallahatchie Bridge or why that was such a big deal. A bunch of theories of why, but remember the other time, like later in the song, they saw her and somebody throwing something off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
Right.
And the belief was it was a baby. That there was some kind of a secret baby that they chucked off the bridge.
Dark as hell.
I know, and they didn't really ever really let you know at all. But that's always what I'm looking for of that kind of. I don't want it to be too good of a tune. Hey, Eric in New York.
Hey guys, I got a good story song. Harry Chapin and Taxi.
Well, you could do any song that Harry Chapin ever wrote, but how long is Taxi, Chris?
It's 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
It's 6 minutes and 40 seconds, all in real time.
Yeah, that's a long story, even if someone's just telling you a story.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. Go ahead and start it. So, he's a taxi driver. Hold on. Tom thinks he knows why Billy Joe jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey guys, I don't know if you remember seeing the movie with Robbie Benson.
I did, and let me just say this: that wasn't a payoff.
What?
Don't you agree?
With a guy, remember?
Yeah. I just never really believed that was. Yeah, what was the exact reason?
Because he was got drunk at some barn party and messed around with a guy, and he was embarrassed because he was supposed to marry. What's that? Glynis? What's that?
Glynis O'Connor.
Glynis O'Connor.
Yeah, but remember the thing that they threw off the Tallahatchie Bridge was just a doll, and it represented their innocence. But yeah, this was the thing in the 70s. You had a fucking one-night stand with a dude, and you might as well kill yourself. Tim in Connecticut. By the way, nobody remembers Robbie Benson, and he was a true movie star in the 70s of cheesy films. And Glynis O'Connor, to me, was the fucking it girl. Tim, Connecticut.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, how about Night Chicago Die? Brother, what it really was.
It's such a weird song. I don't even know if I would call this a story song, but go ahead, play a little bit. It was a cop. This doesn't seem like the right kind of song to talk about the end of a mob war.
It's too happy.
And the sound.
The tonality.
Yeah, right. There was a part of there where, like, he sang and she kissed my mama's face, and my friend Terry Smith came up with, he kissed my mama's face, then he pinched her tit with grace. And we all just thought we were there for genius. We thought we were there for it all. But that is, that's the right kind of song. To be you got to be shitty enough.
Yeah.
Angela, Northern California.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, good morning. Hi. Hey, I love Roberto Keane. The Road Goes On Forever, but the party never ends.
It's an amazing song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time, and you would think it would be more popular. You know what I mean?
You would think. Oh, and Vito wouldn't let me say, but also Choctaw Bingo. I like that one,
I like
too.
that as well, too.
By
but
James
why wouldn't you let him say just one?
Just one each.
One
he said
service.
just one. Sorry, Vito.
All right. Good. Let's play a little. This is an amazing song. This ends a little on the sad side. So,
all right, I have another one for you.
All right, what do you got?
One of my favorites of all time, Pulp, Common People. Would you consider that a story song because it's like a full conversation, and then he takes
I
her
agree,
through?
but I think it comes across more when it's Captain Kirk doing it instead.
Right.
I mean, it's a real spoken word story when Captain Kirk's laying it down. Here we go.
College, that's where I...
This is our friend Holly in St. Pete.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations, Gail.
Thank you so much.
Baby was just kicking.
I'm so excited for you. The other day I was listening to 70s on 7, and they played that Wildfire song. She'll be riding wildfire. That's the saddest freaking song.
It's the saddest song. I gotta tell you the truth. I'm not exactly sure Wildfire fucking kicked down the stall when there came a Killing Frost. I don't know why that would seem like a good idea. Like, it was always a little confusing to me, and I don't understand why a death would come about. But all right, let's listen to a little bit of Wildfire. Let's try to figure out. First of all, there came a Killing Frost. That's a lot different than a blizzard.
Right.
A Killing Frost kills plants.
Yes, exactly. That's just like the crops are dead.
So now he's saying it was so cold and blizzardy that the fucking pony kicked down his stall and ran out into it.
Right.
Which is the exact opposite thing that you want to do.
Right.
And then she went running into the blizzard.
And the Killing Frost got her?
Yeah, fuck them both the way I see it. I mean, you're just not making sense.
She really loved Wildfire. I mean, I got that from the story.
Oh, yeah, she was crazy about Wildfire. Joey, in Maine.
Yes, sir. This story song is I'm Up 5. I'm pretty sure it's called the Harper Valley PTA.
Well, the Harper Valley PTA, another one that was such a great song. It's about his mom dressing too sexy at a PTA meeting. But this song was so good, they made it into a TV movie starring Jeannie. Just play a little bit. Again, you're really reading a note now.
Yeah.
Now, that song is so great, she never needed a chorus.
Yeah, never.
Let's go over here to Victor, Long Island. Victor.
What was that, the Kris Jenner playbook there?
Yeah, it really was very Kris Jenner.
Bennington, congratulations, Gail and Poppy Benny.
Thanks.
Poppy. Yeah, they're holding us to that one song rule, so I went with Elton John's Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy over Terry Jack's Seasons in the Sun.
Oh, I think you would have been better off with Seasons in the Sun, but play a little bit of Captain Fantastic, because this was supposed to be about Elton and Bernie Taupin, but I never really understood it.
No.
And here's the thing, too. But Bernie's lyrics, you just hear him forcing them into this song, into this pop song. So listen for a minute. Remember back in the 80s, like Elton had said something about Kinnison, and it was part of the Kinnison attack on him as being a dirty comic. And Kinnison was like, "Oh, now we know what the little brown cowboys, little dirt cowboys, the brown dirt cowboys." You're just like, "Okay, now we're doing asshole jokes. Easy, everybody. That's all. We like everybody." Let's go over here to Kyle. Kyle, what's up, buddy?
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
First time I heard this one, I was like 8 years old, and it drove me crazy. I started dancing whenever the chorus hit. Is "Take a Letter, Maria."
Well, this is literally a guy telling his secretary to take a breakup letter from him. She has to fucking write this down. Now, Maria shouldn't be involved in this.
No, she's like, I feel like this is better coming from you.
I'm sending this to HR. So it's all laid out there, and I think he crossed the boundary. I really do. Chuck, what's up? Hey.
Approaching Leroy Brown is the same exact song as "Don't Mess Around with Jim."
It really is, and he, "Don't Mess Around with Jim" is probably a pretty good song, but Bad Leroy Brown is just a fucking ridiculous cartoon. I'm gonna jump back into it. I know we got slamming phone calls, and I don't want to take it from anybody, but to me, the all-time great of these cheesy story songs is "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald." And what killed me is, like, you think of this song, "The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," you would think that it happened in, like, the 1820s or something.
Yeah.
It was like 1960 something.
Oh, really?
It was just a couple years before this song came out. By the way, I never heard anyone call Lake Superior the big lake they call Gitchagumi. I have no idea where that went.
We all call it that.
But how does this guy know when the cook could make food or not? That always bothered me about this song. Now, why would that be? Make sandwiches, something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're fucking starving.
You don't have to boil water.
Yeah.
Just a bag of chips would be fine.
And now he's back and he gives up.
He says we're all going to die.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. That goes 0 to 60.
Yeah, that way.
It's just like, hey, it's a little bit gusty out here to make a pot of soup.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to die.
It's a classic. Michael in Florida.
How about Johnny was a schoolboy?
When he heard his first Beatles song. I mean, this is a band who normally didn't have things this cheesy, but this is a pretty fucking cheesy song and incredibly singable. Hey, Chris in New Orleans, you got a story song for us.
Oh, Ronnie B. Now, I don't know if this was good or bad or what, but Escape the Pina Colada song by Rupert Holmes.
It's horrible enough that we should have killed Rupert Holmes for this song, but it's certainly an earworm that you can't get out of your head.
Oh, God.
So she's sleeping, and he's reading fucking the fuck pages of who he could hook up with. Like a newspaper grinder.
Yes. Out in the rain.
Who likes pina colada and getting caught in rain? Not into yoga.
Specific again.
Now, like, we're making fun of people.
At midnight.
Who doesn't? Oh, no, I don't want to on the dunes of the Cape. That changes things. I like to be in a bed. That's like saying if you want sand in your cracks, I'm the guy for you.
God, the biggest thing is, anybody who would say that and anyone who would agree are unbearable. How did they not see this coming?
Yeah.
I mean, these are two unbearable personalities.
Yeah, they're terrible. So instead of working it out with her, he fucking writes in.
Yeah.
And he's going to meet this slut who wants to be fucked on the beach and drink pina coladas.
A baby's drink, by the way.
Yeah. It's an infant's drink. So bring it down. So the whole point of the song is when he gets there, it's his slut. That he fucking laid next to. She was looking for some strange dick, which they both laughed off.
That's the most important part. That in the end, like, they have a chuckle, like, and then they go, I didn't know you like pina coladas. And it's like, first of all, listen to each other.
Yeah.
And, like, also, I feel like the specifics of the dunes is something like that they obviously did before in their youth.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll tell you this.
Weird.
I've met a lot of fucking people in life. No one likes being caught in the rain. Why? It's caught is the operative word.
It's
not being in your home like, hey, let's go out and walk around in the rain and come back and take a shower. No, you're caught in the rain. That's a terrible feeling.
I hate those people so much.
Yeah, I do. I despise them. And that's why that's a great story song. Because they're the worst fucking people with the worst song. Hey, Patrick in Maryland.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How about Arlo Guthrie's Alice's Restaurant?
Well, if you live in Maryland, you're close to Baltimore?
Actually passing by from Virginia to Pennsylvania.
Okay. Oh, that's where you are right now. Because we're down in Maryland every year and we listen to this on Thanksgiving and it takes, I don't know, what is it, 38 minutes or whatever? So
yeah,
we'll just pretty much leave it at that. Mike in Canada. Mike.
Yeah, hey man, I'm so glad you played the whole song of Harper Valley. All I could think of was little Fez Watley shaking his ass.
He used to do a dance to that. Yeah.
Hey, the song that came to mind for me was Last Kiss. I forget who originally did it back in the 60s, but I remember Pearl Jam covered it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys had it down there, but in Canada we used to have these compilation records called K-Tel records.
Sure.
And I think there was actually a K-Tel record that we had as kids that had a bunch of these story songs on it because we had a record. I remember having all those songs in the house and playing the shit out of them.
Oh,
I remember my sister used to just bawl at Wildfire, man. It was the funniest thing, you know. It's so funny that
the K-Tel collection was hilarious because sometimes they couldn't get the artist, and they would just do a cover song of it while it was still on the radio. That's how quick they would put out. These were just Mixtapes. I just play a little with this, and I remember the first one too, and it's a fucking heartbreaker. First time I heard this song was by The Whereabouts.
Yeah.
The best band in the history of Twin Oaks, Pennsylvania. And it killed me. When I was a kid. It absolutely slayed me. And then it was weird to think that Pearl Jam had a hit. This was a radio hit.
It was true.
It was like such an un-Pearl Jam song.
I know. I love that song, though.
Mandy Stadtmiller is coming by. She's got a new book on Wifeable. She's a friend of ours, and she's going to drop in for a second. Let's bring her in.
Mandy Stadtmiller is in studio. Her new book on Wifeable, a memoir, is available now in stores on Amazon.com and on Twitter at Mandy Stat.
Mandy, you are always honest to a fault. That is something about you. You're as honest can be.
I try to be, yeah, but not completely. There's a lot of stuff I left out of the book for other people to say.
Hey, I always wonder what you get out of that, of just laying all your stuffs out.
I think that I just feel crazy if I don't.
Yeah.
And I think that it's the only thing I found that provides a continuous anchor to sanity and happiness and also humor, honestly. The only times I'm ever kind of funny is when I'm being honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's when I try to set up punchline, it comes across as the girl who should be being honest instead.
So
you know?
your memoir is about, because I didn't get a chance, you came in last minute, I didn't get a chance to read it, but this is about your dating life before you found yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, we it's not like you aren't the person that you are before you get sober, but you go through a lot of different experiences that shape you. It's like a diamond, right?
Right.
Sometimes you are less evolved and created than at other times.
It is funny because when you go through sobriety stories, men have a lot of sobriety stories about being in fights or committing crimes but women tend to be, I was with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Over and over
That's
again.
our rock bottom.
Yeah, that is the rock bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times it's just not being comfortable being by yourself.
Yes.
And wanting to just create some new chaos so that you can run from the last bit of chaos and then laugh about it while everyone around you is like, why is she laughing? Like,
yeah, right. What is going on here?
Someone should get some help for her. Yeah.
But so dating was a way for you. It was also a symptom, the same way the alcohol was.
Yeah. Well, I've always been someone who I'm a joiner and I'm a seeker. And so I was, from the time I was 20 to 30, I was with one man who was my college sweetheart, and I was married to him for 5 of those years. And it was a very dysfunctional, emotionally abusive relationship, and I stopped doing anything creative. I stopped writing for newspapers. I listened to every time he told me that it just wasn't working, and I really shut myself down. And so when I had this first kind of awakening that I could be anything I wanted at any time rather than thinking my life was over because I was in my late 20s.
Yeah.
That was part of that was, I can date again. I mean, I was living with him before I even got divorced, and immediately I was meeting guys and just wanting to have their impression of me show back to me who I was, because I certainly didn't know, and thinking maybe they could give me some kind of a form, and they would be the container, and I could be the soup.
There is some kind of there is some kind of high when you first meet somebody. You know what I mean? Like that is a certain kind of high when you just see the best parts of each other.
Yeah, they've never heard any of your stories, any of your go-to charming self-deprecating tales.
Yeah.
And there's this sense of life force that makes you feel taken out of your own self-pity and anxiety and neurosis.
And you're still controlling everything that they know and see about you. You're still in control of, like, I get to show you the best of me. And then, of course, you think I'm fantastic because that's the person I'm presenting to you. And then you're with someone for a little while and you can't help but start being yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to deal with the whole spectrum of who you are.
Also, like, people think that men date younger girls because of their bodies, and I'm sure that's part of it. But it was also part of it, like they think you're smart because you know who the Doors are, and that there's such a thing as baked clams. You know what I mean? So suddenly you're this worldly person.
Yes.
You're like,
Tell me about this Doors.
The Doors. It's a band. I'm gonna have you listen to all of it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
so
pick out the
interested
best
to
stuff.
learn. Yeah. Okay.
But
great.
that happens all the time. Like suddenly you're with somebody who thinks that you're like worldly because you've been to San Diego.
I know someone who did something similar.
Yeah.
But he would do, instead of just young girls, he would do foreign girls. Always English, second language, like just came to America. And it's not just one type. They were all from all different places. But he would always be like, oh, here's my next exotic girlfriend who doesn't know America.
Doesn't understand an ATM card.
And it's like I think he really got off on explaining what everyone else just knows to be fact.
Yeah.
Here. And he felt very in control of showing her around.
People do
and all
that.
it was very annoying.
With new people to New York, too.
Totally. Yeah,
They're
definitely.
like, this is the village.
And sometimes it's like, I've always really enjoyed fucking with people. And so sometimes I remember going to Mardi Gras and coming up with a new identity. And I had just shaved my head bald because I had to take a hair drug test in Michigan for a music writing internship. And then I ended up failing anyway because they tested my, can I say pussy?
Yes.
Yeah.
My pussy hairs. So
No, here's the thing. You're just writing for music. Who else should? If you're
I
not-
know. Are you kidding me? I
Yeah.
went around railing to every single record store in Chicago at the time, telling them the tale.
Right.
It was ridiculous. But then the funny thing was I got an internship at the Village Voice that summer, whereas my dad joked I had to test positive in order to.
Yes, and he is correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that was the way radio was when I started. There wasn't
Right.
people working in radio who weren't high all day. That was the point.
And you probably wouldn't have wanted people who were straight around you.
You certainly don't want to go through metal fucking records for the overnights. Plugs, Chris.
Mandy Stadtmiller's in studio. Her new book, Unwifeable, a memoir. It's available now in stores on Amazon.com and on Twitter at Mandy Stat.
Do you think you could have written this at any other time, but now, I mean, you had to have a little distance between this to figure it out?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the different books that I've tried to sell along the way, they tell a little bit, I would say, the journey of where I was at. I mean, at one time I was ghostwriting a book for Noel, what's that dude's name who founded Ashley Madison?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember his
I
name,
was
but-
writing with him, and that book did not sell. And I mean, everyone would have wanted to know what the reality was.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a perfect case where without honesty, you just have marketing, which makes you want to kill yourself.
Right.
Was there a book that you read, like a memoir growing up, that you're like, okay, this to me, they've broken through. This is reality. This is something that people are hitting it with. Because I remember reading Jim Carroll when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so hard. You know what I mean? It's such a tough read that I love it tremendously.
That was probably my first experience with reading a memoir as well.
I gave it to you.
I
was a bad dad.
I was really into Joyce Carol Oates,
Yes.
which is not memoir, but as most fiction is
right.
You know, memoir transmuted a lot
and the
of
way
times.
Kerouac did it, where he just he wrote a memoir, changed his friends' names, which is always bizarre to me that he did that.
Yeah, I still have the back page of On the Road ripped out where I was on acid and I was driving cross country to work at the Fort Lauderdale Sun Sentinel, and I was writing down feverishly my thoughts about On the Road, thinking I was a prophet.
Yes.
And I think that's the distance that you were talking about, is being able to realize the unwarranted confidence
of youth, right?
Yeah. I feel like I had something so similar.
Yeah.
When I was with that with that exact book where I had never underlined passages in a book before.
Right.
And so meanwhile, I'm underlining like the only ones for me are the mad ones. Mad
Right,
and I think I'm being like unique. Like I found something instead of being like literally people have been writing about this book for decades and taking that exact excerpt and thinking so crazy.
But it is what you want to be when you're young. You want to be the mad ones. But as you're getting older, you don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, it certainly starts to look bad.
Yeah,
You
it
know what I mean?
changes the
Like,
definition of that.
Yeah, like, let's just imagine that you would have gotten divorced 10 or 15 years later and then went through that. It's not as romantic.
Right.
You know? It's very, very tough to see.
But I'm going to say to anyone who's listening that I think that part of the way that we do ourselves in is by telling ourselves those restrictive kinds of narratives, because I can't express how seriously I thought I was stick a fork in it done because I was 29.
Right.
I was just like, oh, I had my shot. And now one of the reasons I always am like, oh yeah, I'm 42 is age doesn't matter. Lucille Ball, she was 40 when she shot her first pilot. Roseanne was in her, I mean, we don't live in the universe that we once lived in. The only thing that matters is content. Well, that's not true. If your content is that you are a taut, malleable Disney star who can be transformed into whatever you want, then that is very crucial to the brand or whatever. But I really think that, I mean, one of the funniest comedic actresses is, I see her in everything. I don't know her name, but she's this grandma and she just slays. She's in Getting On and Shameless, and I need to look up her name because this is not a good anecdote, but like, I just, and I think the key a lot of times is to lean into the thing that most scares you. And so, you're an aging party girl who's ruined every relationship in her life. Well, then talk about that.
Yes.
Because you're probably not the only one.
Yeah, and there is wisdom through that kind of failure. And, you know, you bring up comedy. I think Sarah Silverman's doing the best work of her life. I think Colin Quinn is doing the best work of his life. Now, it doesn't mean that the news wire will pick up on it as quickly as they do for somebody in their 20s. But if you look back over their career, you're like, well, this is getting better. You know what I mean? I think Attell is at a point where,
my God,
you know.
Which only makes sense. You gather more life experience, you gather more wisdom, you gather perspective on things that happen to you when you're young. I mean, it's weird that we think that art is for youth when, you know, artists do grow and they become funnier, especially when you're talking about writing.
Yeah.
Well, and the funniest thing is when you are young and you discover something, kind of like you were talking about with the Doors. I remember being 19 in 1995 down on the beach in Florida reading a book about Lenny Bruce, and some dude coming up to me saying, "Oh, Lenny Bruce." And feeling like the two of you had just discovered it and were the only people who knew about it. So that's there's I think you can do anything at any time. I actually wrote something on my Goodreads profile, which is the secrets to how I wrote a memoir. And it's really true, is you don't have to worry about writing it. Just gather the material, document it. I went through, I've gotten rid of everything in my life, but I kept the morning pages, the diaries, the tapes of me drunk, the voice recorder interviews that I didn't realize I hadn't turned off after I did it. And all those things, you forget them all.
Yes.
And if you keep them, then later you can do it. If it's something you even have the tiniest inclination of wanting to do.
I've been thinking too, because I saw this thing on, I think it was CBS Sunday Morning, where this guy, his grandfather was older or whatever, and he found out that his grandfather just wrote down memories, just not like here's things that I can remember when I was 6, when I was 3. And then he drew like a little painting with each one of them. He was an Asian guy.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is one of the most beautiful. I would love to have that from my great grandmother if no one in the world else ever read it. And I get concerned about with my dad because he remembers family history that I wasn't even around for. And I would love to pass that along, you know?
Yeah, and everybody kind of has that like story keeper of the family too. So you like it's
Right.
so important to preserve those if you're not passing it on.
Right, but in reality, everybody is the story keeper. Well, I know you're going on to another interview now, but I'm so proud of you for getting this done.
Oh, thanks.
I
Yeah,
think that's just
awesome.
amazing.
Thanks.
I think it's just such an incredible thing to pull off. I have nothing but respect for.
Oh, I appreciate it.
That battle that it takes to get from the beginning to the end. Chris, plug away.
Mandy Stadtmiller's been in studio. Her new book, Unwifeable, Memoir, is available now in stores and on Amazon.com and on Twitter at Mandy Stat.
We'll see you next time, Mandy. Thank you so much. All right, it's the Bennington Show on a Thursday. Breaking news, Spy Report.
Spy Report.
And
Spy
this
Report.
is everywhere in the world right now. It has knocked Trump off of the news cycle. Bill Cosby found guilty on all 3 counts in sexual assault trial. He's looking at 10 years in jail.
Wow.
And that's only one of the trials.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people were in it, but not a ton of them, right?
No. This trial was just for one woman.
So he's looking at 10 years on one woman. I personally never saw this coming. Not in Norristown, Pennsylvania, where he is, an icon.
Yeah, I'm totally. I can't believe that it happened. I was not sure how this was going to turn out. I thought that it was a possibility that he could be found guilty. Sometimes that's a reactionary thing after
hung trial at best.
Yeah. Wow. That's really nuts.
My phone just was blowing up while we were talking to Maddie, and I wanted you to surprise you on the air with it. But Bill Cosby, America's dad, as he was once known during the 80s, a guy who spent a very good part of his life preaching to other people how they should handle themselves, the way they had let down society, finding himself looking at some serious time for an old guy.
Yeah, that is serious. 10 years for an old man.
Yeah.
Is life.
I don't even know. Yeah, you're basically giving him life.
Yeah.
I don't know if an old guy like him could do 1 year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the case that they're going to try to make, is any time that you give him is going to shorten his life.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're probably going to go with that angle because there's no way an elderly person is going to thrive in that scenario.
He is the first person, I guess, of the Me Too movement who's ever been sentenced. And this has got to make Harvey Weinstein seem weird. And Charlie Rose has got to know that idea for a TV show that he has is not going to work out, where Charlie Rose interviews people from the Me Too movement. All I could thought of is, who's going to do that?
When I saw this come through on the news, I was like, what kind of a dystopian future? Like, it's something that you would see in a movie, and it's like a weird talk show in a movie. You know what I mean? It doesn't even seem like that would be real life. Why would anyone do that show? That would be the strangest thing ever. It's just like sexual assault and rape talk. Like, they took me down.
I'm looking at these women crying, and I thought that they were Cosby friends, but now I'm guessing that they are people who accused him.
Yeah.
And they can't even stand up. They're lying against banisters, sobbing.
Wow.
Bill Cosby, guilty on all 3 counts. And that is oddly surprising. I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
But even when I read that his fucking stupid lawyer fell asleep yesterday, sitting there.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I just
When
saw-
somebody was testifying, he fucking just leaned back and started snoozing.
I don't want to associate myself with any of this, but I did just notice that his lawyer and I have the same umbrella.
Oh, Gail.
And I was like, oh boy, I hope people don't notice that about me.
Why does anybody take a blue on a blue sky day like this? Take an umbrella.
I'm not sure why he has one. I would never have mine.
Man, these women are going crazy.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. Are we looking at multiple victims? Are we looking at the woman and
Chris
her
says that-
lawyer's
yeah,
team?
Chris said that there's only one victim in this one.
Yeah. This was a trial just for one woman. Yeah.
So this
it
is
happened
maybe her and her team right now.
Yeah, and then this happened like 14 years ago.
Wow.
I believe on the right hand TV, that woman on that television.
Well, I remember she was very early on with
Yeah.
the accusing.
Yeah. And that looks like they're letting people out of the actual trial.
Wow, Bill Cosby.
I never thought he was
Guilty.
going to be put away guilty.
I know I wasn't crazy about the way he treated me when he was in here. You very rarely hear me bitch about a guest. I don't know where I'm supposed to find a bottle of water for you. As I interview people, I don't go running out and get water.
Still water in a glass bottle.
And who was running down the street?
Liam.
Poor Liam is running as hard as he can to get
God damn
Cosby
it.
everything he wants. He wants it in an actual glass.
Mm.
He wanted a glass bottle. Where are the chairs for the other men? Oh, the other men we didn't know were coming? Oh, we'll find those chairs, Bill. The rappers, the positive rappers.
Yeah.
And one of the songs I remember was called Daddy Behind the Glass.
Mhm.
And it was about this whole thing about how bad it is to be a father in prison. And now he's going.
Yeah, now he is America's dad behind the glass.
I just think of how many fucked up dopes I've known my whole life that didn't go to prison.
Yeah. Well, this was just overwhelming. The amount of people who came forward, the mode in which he did it, and everything. It was really, really heinous. And I think that it's not shocking because it doesn't make sense. It was just that after seeing him, get off the last time, it seemed like we were going to continue with that.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It absolutely did. It felt like he had enough money to throw at this shit.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the world is covering this right now. And live.
Wow.
Trump's
That's-
got to be loving it. Gives him a couple minutes freedom.
He just takes a break.
And his the doctor that he wanted to take over the VA, the candy man. And you look at that guy, he was an admiral, he was a doctor, and he was a doctor for the last 3 fucking presidents, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty fucking cool thing to do. And what could be easier for a doctor than to be the doctor of one dude? You know what I mean? You spend a lot of your time going like this. Don't be paranoid, okay? It's gas. That's all.
Again.
But but when you went to the VA, then suddenly they were going, why that dude? Oh, I know. He was standing next to Trump when Trump heard that he needed to get somebody. It's everything I tell people in corporations. Hang around.
Yeah.
Somebody will get fired, and then you'll be able to jump in there.
And then they're like, well, I've seen that guy around. He's okay.
By the way, I know this isn't woke in me, but I can't get used to Lauren down the hall wearing jeans every day. She used to be straight skirt girl.
She was always wearing skirts and little dresses. Now she's into the jeans. It's it was like
I
an
wasn't
overnight
ready.
thing too.
Well, it was a new year, new her.
Yeah. A panther.
All right, Cosby's on a golf cart trying to drive away, they said. He's trying to run off. All right, let me ask you guys this. Cosby or OJ, what seems like a crazier thing that happened to a major star? I mean, really, when you think about it, how many major stars have gotten into
This level.
this
yeah.
level of trouble?
I don't know. It's like, are there people? I guess my first question is to kind of assess that is, are there people who think Cosby is innocent the way people felt like OJ is innocent.
I think when it first started, yeah, but they've been
Right.
browbeating this for 10, 15 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think you've had more of a chance to get used to it. And Cosby had really annoyed a lot of people in the black community. And there's a generation that doesn't even remember him as America's Dad.
Right, that's
you know,
true.
that was the 80s.
But also the weird thing is there's a generation of people who only know OJ as OJ, like, you know, as him and the court and the whole trial and everything. That being like, they didn't really
Right.
know him as being a celebrity first. Like, he's almost like a celebrity for being an accused murderer.
Yeah, he hasn't carried a football since like 1980.
Right.
But he's been a murderer for 30 years.
I feel like for me it's Cosby, but it's probably because I have more of a relationship with Cosby and the Cosby Show and his legacy than I did with OJ, which is I was also very young, so that was just about the trial. You know what I mean?
Right.
For me, it wasn't like, oh, this guy who I grew up and loved.
Well, I thought Cosby was a far better stand-up than a sitcom star or an actor. I mean, he never had a hit movie.
Yeah.
And he should have. You know, I mean, he was big enough star to move over into that. And he tried many, many times over the years. But I thought his stand-up, particularly 60s, early 70s, was just groundbreaking. I mean, I think that you'd have to put him with the top 3 stand-ups of all time. I don't know where you'd put him. But I think that he belongs there with Carlin and Pryor. And if you go back and watch the Seinfeld thing, Comedian, he and Chris Rock were talking about Cosby in awe. And he goes backstage and Cosby's giving him, well, you know, you belong, you made your play. And Seinfeld left and he's in the car and you see that he's just ecstatic that Cosby gave him this thing. Like, and this is Seinfeld after the show Seinfeld. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is Seinfeld going, Bill Cosby gave us everything, you know, that we could want. Jamie, what's up, buddy?
Ronnie, would you classify this as like a Ronnie Spector? Do you think that, you know, he got the same respect as a guy
here's
in
the thing.
his craft and then it crashed?
Phil Spector, of course, brilliant.
I'm sorry, not Ronnie.
Brilliant producer, but everybody had known for 25 years that this guy was a dangerous nut.
Yeah.
Before he killed that woman. So, I mean, he had pointed a gun at fucking John Lennon and he had pointed guns at various people and he'd been whacked out on drugs and he basically kept Ronnie Spector as a fucking captive for years. So we all knew that he was a fuck up. Cosby was a guy who went on TV and started telling people, you better take care of your kids. You've got to be a responsible person. You're fucking up.
I mean, if you remember, that was even what Hannibal Buress's joke was about, was specifically being the kind of dude to be like, pick up your pants and don't curse in your rap music. And he's like, hey, we all know this dude's a rapist, right? I mean, that was like his thing, is like, this is the guy who's wagging his finger at black culture and telling us to behave.
Wow, I always forget that Hannibal Buress was the fucking start of that, because he wants nothing to do with it. He hasn't ridden on that. You know, he's not like Stormy Daniels' lawyer where you see him on TV every night just fucking with Trump every chance he gets.
It was so offhand, too. He literally just says, pick up your pants, Bill Cosby, why don't you not rape women? And then he goes, seriously, look it up. Bill Cosby raped women. And that's it. That's where it ended.
And he didn't do that on a TV show. He did it in a set and somebody had just shot it on their phone.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal.
And I think like Philly.com or something picked it up and he was like, I've been doing that joke for years. And it just was this one person who filmed it.
It's so weird.
Yeah, but when Philly.com breaks something.
It is true.
You know?
I mean, they're the ones that got Meek Mill out. Holy
true.
shit, Meek Mill is out, Bill Cosby's in.
I know.
Oh, what if he goes to Chester?
He's going to Chester.
Wow. I'll tell you something else. That TV special that he shot in the early days of TV specials, it must have been like 83 or something. And it was about his wife was having a baby, and the whole thing is dad is great. He gives his chocolate cake.
Yeah.
It's one of the best of all time. Again, you got to put it top 3. You got to put it as like one of the best specials ever done. Cosby had nothing but success. Somebody I had talked to, and maybe it was Joan Rivers, but I had talked to a lot of people who were in the Village doing comedy or folk music in Greenwich Village in the early 1960s. And somebody said to me, Bill Cosby got off the train from Philly fully formed. He fucking went on stage and started improvising and telling stories and just crushed and was immediately put on TV. And there's a Dick Cavett stuff, right? Where Dick Cavett would have on these giant legendary comedians and a young Bill Cosby, and he's there next to Groucho Marx, just as fucking comfortable as could be, just in there, not impressed that he's sitting with, at that time, a guy that would have been a star for fucking 40 years and seen it all. He's just as comfortable as could be. Kurt, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Years before this story even broke, you used to make comments that you knew something about Cosby and it wasn't going to come out until after he had died and so on and so on. How did you know?
Everybody at one point or another had talked about that.
Yeah.
And Gail had even heard a story when she was younger from a guy. Everybody knew that Cosby had these things around him.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, everybody believed that since so much time had gone by, that no one would ever come after him. He's like fucking closest to a billionaire as you could probably get for not investing money or anything, you know?
Yeah. And that was the situation. When I told you the story that I had heard from a friend, a coworker, you said to me, well, this was, people have also had rumors about this for a very long time. And that was the first time I had heard that. So you had said, oh, yes, people in the community definitely talk about watching out for this dude.
I'm looking at this right now. The district attorney has said revoke any bail. They want him in immediately.
Wow.
Charged with drugging, molesting a woman in 2004. Don, what's up?
Hey, Ron, I heard you on the other morning show. Now the name of it escapes me. Who is it? Sam and Jim. Sam and Jim. And I was kind of shocked that you had Bill Cosby as one of the greatest of all time. When some other people don't believe that, but in my world, Bill Cosby was the cleanest comedian. So therefore, my dad would let me listen to him, and that Bill Cosby himself, which is the one that you're talking about. I mean, I must have watched that like 500 times. I have the whole thing memorized almost word for word. And isn't it crazy that the guy that, my dad and a lot of other parents thought was the cleanest is now really the slimiest of all?
Isn't that weird? Like Pryor didn't do shit like this. And, Kinnison or Dice, they're just with women that wanted to be with them. Oh, they were bad boyfriends. There's no doubt about it. They were bad husbands. And if those stories ever come out, every man is going to be embarrassed. But Cosby, and by the way, I don't know whether it would surprise you, because I thought what Cosby did in the 1960s was so fucking amazing, because here's all this shit going down. Riots and civil rights and marches. And Cosby was a black man that white people were like, this dude is brilliant. This dude is great. And if you're at that point, right? If you're like, oh, the way he's talking about his brother is like me and my brother, that maybe that seeps into a racist fucking head, because I know it did with my uncle. My uncle, who, you've met him, Gail, you know how he is. And yet he thought Cosby was hysterical and was very proud of Cosby for being from Philly. So, I mean, I thought, and I've said this before, I go, you could put his work as a comedian up with just as important as the kind of work that civil rights workers, including Martin Luther King. I'm not saying he was a Martin Luther King, but that shit is so much more powerful than preaching even.
Yeah. And you see that it is important because I've seen it in my lifetime with the gay rights movement, is that when somebody takes on something where it's like, oh, you see it through comedy, you see it through art in some way, then people start to go, oh, this is a person I'd like to know. This is a neighbor I'd like to have. This person reminds me of my sister for whatever reason.
Yes.
That is the stuff that gets to people, and it normalizes things.
Look, I mean, I don't know whether this is right, but I'm all for doing it. I'm just going to take his act, and I'm going to start doing it.
That's good.
I don't think he deserves it anymore. So I'm going to be talking about me and my little brother and my friend Fat Albert and all the kids in New York and North Philadelphia. And I'm going to talk about the kids coming in. They want the eggs and the thing. I'm just give them the cake and the jello pudding. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow night when I go back home to New Jersey. And I am going to also put the mic at half mast as a way of saying Bill Cosby down by law. I hope everyone gets behind him like they did Meek Mill.
You think?
You know, he's just another murderous brother in the game. I said brother. I was so glad I said it. So glad I said it. Because that Meek Mill is not very PC.
No.
Cosby was. And then he talk about all the things that the kids would do. Go ahead, Vito.
For tickets to Ron Bennington's Coming Home to New Jersey tour, go to stressfactory.com or call 732-545-HAHA. 2 shows each night, Friday and Saturday, 7:45 p.m. and 9:30 p.m.
And I'm not saying that Springsteen's going to be there, but I won't be surprised if he is. I will not be surprised. And Bon Jovi probably, too.
Yes.
But Cosby used to work on the docks.
So you're saying none of these people are the victim? This is all just their team?
This is the team, yeah. And then I just saw something that said Cosby had an outburst in court, but I'm not finding anything online about it.
He says, blah, 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 and filth, and blah, blah. Remember when he would act like that was him, cousin? And the filth, and the bleeps, and broops. Who said he had an outburst? I'd love to know.
The only thing I saw it on was Fox News. They had like a headline in the bottom on the scroll. Cosby has outburst in court.
I think Accuser had outburst.
It said Cosby.
I'm looking at it.
I'm gonna believe Vito in this case because I don't see Cosby outbursting. Oh, look, Chris has gone through his phone like a prick.
I'm gonna find this thing.
Hey, Ford.
Hey, buddies.
Yeah.
Not necessarily an original thought, but an interesting one. If you went back to 1983 and told someone, okay, in 35 years, Bill Cosby will be going to prison for rape, Donald Trump will be president, O.J. Simpson will have his legal problems, and Bruce Jenner will be a woman, people would look at you like you were just out of your mind.
It's really fucking oddly true. And I don't know which one would seem weirder to me.
I think maybe the Bruce Jenner might be the weirdest of all.
Yeah, I guess. I'm kind of trans happy, though. You know, I'm happy when people are trans. I could have seen Cosby becoming a woman.
I think it could have helped him. Instead of the, remember he was going with the blind thing for a little bit.
And, you know, Trump was like a young business guy that didn't have any trouble in 83. People probably would have went, yeah, I could see that. You know what I mean?
Right. It would be more bizarre to hear that after he had the show. Then you'd be like, what kind of
it would have been
nuttiness?
weirder to hear that fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah, you'd be like, that's not possible.
Alan, what's up?
Hey, Bennington. Congratulations, Ms. Bennington.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, the one thing that came out of this that was the big shocker was that Janice Dickinson made that whole story up on her memoir.
You know, I didn't even know who Janice Dickinson was until she did reality shows, but supposedly she was the one they called the first supermodel. that no one used the word supermodel before her. I only knew her as I only knew who she was as a much older woman telling people on reality shows I was the first supermodel. But I don't. Something happened with her and Cosby, but I don't know what it was. All right, Chris has sent this to me, Vito. Cosby launched into a tirade and called District Attorney Kevin Steele an asshole. As Steele argued to revoke bail, Cosby stood up and shouted, "I'm sick of him."
Sounds like an outburst, Ron.
You are completely correct.
Correct.
And Vito is completely wrong.
Just sounds like an aggravated person. I wouldn't say outburst.
That's an outburst.
That's
Vito.
an outburst in court. In court, you
And then
can't
they
yell.
go filth and ass and shit and fucking good.
Yeah, isn't it weird that he said asshole?
Yeah, he should have said it during his act. He would have been even funnier. I remember, I guess it was the 70s, where people got mad and said that he didn't deserve a doctorate because he got it for working on the electric company. Did you just get kicked?
Yeah, he got a kick.
And the other day you got kicked during the thing, and then I jumped in to the wrong part.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I got kicked in the middle of a live read.
Yeah.
And then it took my breath away. And I was like, ugh.
And then when I heard you stop, I just jumped in. That was the day that we fucked up and we did the live read.
Yeah.
Hilarious. And the filth and the children and the cake.
Vito, did you get any, did you get anything about your outburst? Because it really does seem that it's just Chris's. Doesn't seem like anyone had an outburst.
Thank you, Gail.
On the other side.
No, I think it was just Cosby being aggravated.
Why don't you just apologize to Chris?
Yeah,
and we
that's
can move
okay.
on?
We can move on.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Chris has outbursts a lot, I think.
Dude, I fucked up yesterday when I said that. I forget what I said to Jen. Oh, I put I put Kanye in the same place as I did a murderer. I go, well, you're not against what's it? Like Kanye, and she goes, yeah, but he murdered somebody. And I had to go, oh yeah, you're right. That's just a political view Kanye had. There's no reason to turn on. But then I thought to myself, I just did 2 shows today. You know,
What are you gonna do?
but so I apologize. You
Yeah.
don't look at me. That's why I could stand here so pristine.
Mm-hmm.
That's that same woman that gets everybody right. That lawyer.
Gloria Albright.
Yeah, she must be a badass.
So he could be doing up to 30 years because each charge is up to 10.
If he gets 30 years, they ought to just shoot him in the back of the head.
Yeah, there's no point.
He ain't going fucking anywhere, I guess. I guess they could try to get something to just try. He's just got to just hope that his diabetes gets worse. He should just be sitting there having Coke and pudding, Jello pudding. Everyone brings up Coke and Jello pudding, and he was, running those commercials for years. But also Polaroid, which was like a big deal. Polaroid was the same as saying I got a cell phone fucking thing now.
Right.
Chris was telling me, because we were talking about apps, and you were saying people only use their phones for 3 things.
All right, people use their phones for 3 things. Messaging, ordering food, or calling cabs. That's it. All right, I'll throw an email too, but that's also messaging. So that's the umbrella of messaging.
Didn't you get your dick sucked a lot from Tinder though? Just saying.
I was blunt though. Well, pictures, people are constantly shooting video and pictures.
Constantly.
And I read newspapers the whole time that I'm on the streets now.
Everybody Googles shit on their phone.
Wait, now what's the 3? Taking pictures?
Taking pictures, ordering cabs, ordering food.
Yeah, but social media.
And messaging.
What about social media?
Social media falls under messaging.
No, it doesn't.
No,
There's like
that's-
fucking 7 different things that fucking do the same thing.
Instagram's the biggest app, and there's no message.
That's sending out messages.
No,
to
that's
people.
not a
That's fucking
message.
putting pictures sliding into DMs.
No, it's not. It's not like that.
It's messaging.
I hate to be on Vito's side because he's got a loser's
He doesn't
role
even
for
know
this
shit
week.
about
I hate to be on Chris's side, but he's right. A lot of people just write or read their Facebook, Instagram. It's not that different.
No, it's the same thing. It's just different fucking app. It's like
like Twitter is not that different. Like if someone just came here from another planet and you're like, you can use Twitter or you can use Facebook or you can use Instagram, they'd be like, I don't give a fuck. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
He didn't say that though. He just said messaging.
Messaging.
He didn't say social media.
But you are. Social media is messaging.
All right, what about the HQties out there? I mean, that's not the same.
Is that messaging?
And also, by the way,
not everyone's using it.
by the way, I'm on the train and
Is
the
that
amount
messaging?
You can write messages to people in the
Chris, calm down. The amount of people I see playing obnoxious games that I've never seen before on the train. Like a lot of people play
I don't play
games.
one game on my phone, and I hate people that do.
A lot of people play games on their
Yeah,
phone.
Chris is Line Rider messaging.
What?
Everybody plays Line Rider.
What the fuck is Line Rider?
Very popular game.
You play Line Rider?
I don't know what Line Rider
What
is.
about Apple Music? You know,
Why
some
don't
of
you
us.
slow? I use it for Apple Music.
Yeah, good point. You didn't say music.
All right, so we're up to
also,
4 things.
okay, no, because also you have to add social media and games. So now we're
Social
like
media-
6 or 7.
No, social media is messaging.
What about the people who do like health tracking on their phone? Steps, period tracker. I used to use that.
Yeah, I dare you to say something about that, Chris.
All right.
There's tons of health apps that people
The health
use.
app's already built into the phone. No,
They're not. You-
Mobile banking?
No, you download health apps.
No
My
one's
phone did not
banking
come with a period tracker, Chris.
Chris Venmos, and that's not messaging.
People do their Weight Watchers, I
Not
think.
Chris. You didn't know
Venmo is social media because it connects everyone. That's underneath.
I'm gonna get back to this. I got the exact quotes of Cosby now. So the guy said the DA said he wanted him to be jailed immediately, saying that he was a flight risk. And Cosby, who hasn't said a word during the whole trial, shouted, "He doesn't have a plane, you asshole." And then said he doesn't know. They said his voice was shaking. He was so. It's not just getting in a plane and flying.
Right, sure. There's
You're a flight risk when you drive.
you're taking the word flight too literally, I think.
And then also, and this seems like they got stepped on, but Che and Jost are going to host the Emmys this year. I believe the first unmasked ever go on to host Emmys.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we got that word out.
That's nice.
I guess that's going to be on the iBank today, along with the news about Cosby.
So Cosby screamed out, "He doesn't have a plane, you asshole." So he's talking in the third person?
Yes.
Wow, that's weird.
Or maybe he tried to like disguise his voice, like as though someone else had it. Or doesn't have a plane, you asshole. That guy's got a point.
Wow. Fucking Cosby pulled down for real. Because before he was just, all the shit had happened. And he was just like, I can't believe I can't tour.
Yeah.
Now he's like, who
Which
cares
is
about touring?
So weird when you're talking about what was it, like 60 plus accusers, and he was still like shaking it off and still and I was like, how does this not sink him?
I honestly, I would have bet against it. I would have bet his money, his influence in that town, you know what I mean, was going to be too much to bring down. But we talked about this before. The world has changed. I'm looking at an old-timey war, and this is the whole new fucking world, where Chris is getting battled down by everybody. You used to be the Great White Hope.
I don't have a goddamn chance
More
in
like
hell.
the Great White Hype.
Like that too.
You're on the air, Craig.
Craig.
Hey, Ron, how's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Congratulations, Don. You hear me?
No, I didn't hear you.
I said congratulations on the baby.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was weird. I was a little kid back when Eddie Murphy Raw came out, and I didn't know too much of Cosby besides the Cosby Show. I didn't know it was comedy. But just from that one little skit where he's doing that skit about Richard Pryor, talking to Richard Pryor, and he tells him that, Bill, I said to have a look and a smile and shut the fuck up. It just made me lose all respect for Bill Cosby for anything. Just from that, I don't even know if it was a true story or not,
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't pick between people when they're fighting with each other, and I'm only talking about Bill Cosby in the heyday of the 1960s, not by the time that came along, the 1980s, when he started preaching to people. But the TV show I Spy was this giant breakthrough because a black guy and a white guy played equals.
Yeah.
And that might seem nothing to people today who see, Che and Jose go out and not even recognize that, hey, one guy's black and one guy's white, and I can totally get that. But this was at a time when they were doing this that maybe they just said, okay, black people can use whatever water fountain or bathroom they wanted to do. It was literally in the same time. So it would have been like if a couple years ago you would have seen a trans woman with a gay guy making out on a TV show that everybody watched and went, this is a great show. You just can't put yourself into the mindset. Now, everybody who breaks through a glass ceiling, everyone looks through like, so what? I would have broke through that glass ceiling, but you didn't. Those were the first people to do it. I remember the first time I heard of a kite and a fucking key. I went, who couldn't do that? I would have fucking done that in a heartbeat. I know I can fly. I'm in third grade. I can fly a kite. Just tie a key to the end of it. But at the time, everyone's like, what the fuck just happened? What the fuck, man? Nobody saw this shit coming. There's Cos right there.
Looking good.
Yeah, he's walking pretty fast for a guy who's claiming he's blind.
I know.
He might go home and fucking just eat a fucking bag of pills.
He should probably still have some laying around.
I'd just go home and probably just fucking take a hammer and start smashing my fucking skull with it.
Oh my God. There's easier ways to do that.
Well, I didn't know. Somebody should have wrote down a fucking list. Probably still has his pills. Give me those old pills. I'm going to give 2 to my nurses and 1 to myself. There's his shitty lawyer. Beautiful, long silver hair. Oh, God. Cosby's fucking waving to everybody like he's a hero.
He's nuts.
Just throw the arm up.
Yeah.
Why'd he do that, I wonder? This is not
People are probably cheering for him.
Oh, gotcha.
You know?
Give him a little wave.
I mean, Philly, they don't want to see anybody go to jail. I want to be totally honest.
I can see that.
They don't even want murderers in jail.
Why did that guy have his umbrella out?
The guy's a fucking maniac. It's a beautiful day.
Really weird.
It's probably hammered.
I don't think that's the assumption.
Why would the lawyer be hammered, Chris?
It doesn't make sense.
You probably just thought, this is a layup. I don't even need to fucking go into this today.
So having an umbrella doesn't fucking still make sense. You haven't given a reason.
Oh my God.
This is such an easy case. I'll take an umbrella in there with me.
I'll do a couple shots, take my umbrella.
Chris thinks everybody's like him. I got to tell you, I'm fucking blown away. Blown away. I mean, maybe it's because of my life and times. I just never saw this guy coming down. This guy was a major superstar my entire life. I don't know the amount of times that you will go back if you listen to Unmasked at some point. I come up with people don't give Cosby enough respect for his stand-up.
Yeah.
Down to one time somebody said to me, like who? People respect Cosby. I can't remember what it was, but it literally made me, I was like, who? What list are you talking about?
Who is this person disrespecting Cosby?
I had to change the fucking topic because I'd gotten away with that rap for so long. I wasn't prepared to defend it.
You know who. You know.
Your mother, that's who. Your mother says stuff.
It's not mask really turned.
Yeah.
Well, put the boots to him, Chris.
Chris will jump up. Why don't you have an umbrella, you fucking layup prick? You like that? There was, this was so fucking cute. So I'm walking in Austin, and there's this fucking wacky homeless guy, right? And he's asking me, and I have in the earbuds and stuff, and he takes his hand and puts it on my arm, and I'm just like, don't do that, dude. And I look up, and here's fucking Chris barreling down the street.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, easy, big man. He's just
fucking homeless guy put his hands on you, Ron.
And I was like, oh, I see what it was like when fucking Michael Jackson had security, and then somebody got their neck broken. Take your hands off the legend! They used to say that was Club Soda Kenny. Was always like, just a fan would come up at at a restaurant. Stay away from the legend. And I would laugh every time at that story. Just one guy, one guy at a fucking Bennington's. Wow, this is a weird day for me. I now get how some people don't see something coming, and they don't. I just never had it in my head that they would get this. I'm not saying, oh, they got an innocent man. I always, from the beginning, thought he was fucking guilty. I just think never thought they could get to him. He's been on the mountaintop my entire life. And like I said, when you see that's the thing, and it was only, like 10 years ago that Chris Rock and Jerry Seinfeld were going there just to touch the hem of his fucking skirt. And now fucking Jerry's probably looking at his comedian special going, oh my God. I was so happy that a rapist liked me.
Can we scrub this from the record, please?
What's the pill? I guess he's next to go, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Too clean. Take a look at all the clean comics.
Oh, yeah.
There's darkness there.
Line them up. All right, we got to wrap this one up. Vito, you got anything to bring up?
Yeah, for tickets to Ron Bennington is Coming Home to New Jersey tour, go to thestressfactory.com or call 732-545-HAHA. There's 2 shows each night, Friday and Saturday at 7:45 and 9:30 p.m.
I'm going to get to the bottom of this Cosby thing, so I'm going to bring that up.
Definitely bring that up.
Cosby? More like rapesy.
That's good.
Is it because that gold?
That's so good.
Was it hey, 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 or gay, gay, gay?
Wait, what?
Oh, because I think he raped a couple guys.
Gay.
Wasn't there a candy that Cosby was also... I mean, he was... like Michael Jordan is the fucking guy that... Cosby was the big pitch man. For like 15, 20 years, he was the number 1 pitch man every year. I think there was even an early computer that he was pitching.
Really?
Yeah. Like a Texas Instrument or something.
I know that obviously Jell-O and then specifically pudding pops.
Yeah.
I remember being a thing.
Jell-O, pudding, Polaroid, Coca-Cola. He was the Coca-Cola guy. He was even the guy that pitched New Coke. And there he is, Bill Cosby, the computer dude. What kind of computer was
That's
that?
a Texas Instruments desktop computer.
Yeah.
Weird.
Now that's when you basically... These things weren't much different than a fucking DVD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just put them in, you got to click on a couple things, but it didn't do shit for you. Oh, look at this one. It just says, Coca-Cola tastes like chloroform. Was he Skittles?
I think he was Brax Royals.
What's that?
What's Brax Royals?
Never mind. He's not even in this commercial. I don't know why Google did this.
That sounds racist.
Well, why are you going to Image? Why don't you just there's got to be a Wikipedia or something. That's him with the new coat. Pop Rock.
Oh, yeah. You see in that one?
Pop Rock. Yeah.
And Jell-O pudding. The pudding comes in and there's Jell-O and pudding pop. Cosby's attorney said the fight is not over. Trust us, more women will feel the wrath of his cock.
What? That's not woke.
No, it's not very woke. But neither are his victims. Craig, real fast, because we got to wrap this up.
Ronnie B, $1 million.
Million.
Gail, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
They actually did an episode on the Cosby Show where everybody was fighting and not getting along, and he had a barbecue, and he claimed that his barbecue sauce was what made everybody get horny and get along and want to make love. And he claimed that he also had a cup of it sitting on his nightstand. But we all should have seen this coming.
We all should have. We all should have seen it coming. I blame
Signs were there.
I blame America.
All right, he was the pitch man for Del Monte, Ford, Crest, Coca-Cola, Kodak, and Jell-O.
It's unbelievable. Those are all
Yeah, I
massive
remember the Kodak commercial with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I thought it was Polaroid, but it's Kodak.
Yeah.
I just saw the Ford one, and he's like wearing a shirt that says Ford in front of a giant sign that says Ford.
And nobody was like, oh, what a sellout. He just could do whatever he wanted to do. It was just fucking money his whole life. Just money came pouring in. Look at people all over the street in Norristown. So it looks like the OJ thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll run.
That'd be exciting.
Whatever medication he should stop taking it, or take more of it. He ought to try to get his foot cut off. Anything to keep him from going down. All right, that's it for us. We're back here tomorrow, and you'll be able to hear the Judah Friedlander for president, which is just a great amount of fun.
That's Judah 2020, the World Champs presidential press conference tomorrow at 2 p.m. Also, Gail Meets Girls this Saturday with Casey Balsham and Christine Meehan. That's at 6 p.m. East on Raw Dog.
I'm looking forward to that, Gail.
Yes, that's going to be a great one.
All right, that's it for us. We're back here tomorrow, and if not then, we'll see you again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed your